Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back into my YouTube channel. Appreciate you watching my videos, and the number of subscribers continues to grow, so that is pretty cool to watch that happen, and that means that you guys are enjoying some of the content I'm putting out there. If you haven't already subscribed and it's the first time to my channel, then go ahead and hit that subscription button. I'm trying to put out at least 1 to 2 videos a week. It's kind of challenging right through the tournament season, but I'm purposed to do that, so hopefully I can stay on task with that. Today I want to do just a quick tackle tip, and if you follow me as a fisherman, I love to fish shallow, and one of my favorite ways to catch them is with a swim jig. And I'm out here in my boat, and as you could see, I've got all my rods out here. I'm rigging up for an upcoming FLW Pro Circuit event, actually now called a super tournament. Getting ready to dial in my swim jig, and this is actually my swim jig box that I carry on tour. It's basically all Strike King swim jigs, KVD swim jigs, and the Hack Attack heavy cover swim jig. And one of the things that I like to do, I'll pull a fresh one out of the bag here. These are all, you know, right out of the package. So there's one right there, and it's got a really nice full skirt, and that's awesome, because if you want a full skirt, say in muddier water, or you've got a trailer like say a Rage Craw that has no trouble catching water, then a full skirt makes a nice overall presence, a silhouette in the water. The fish can actually see that a whole lot better. But there are times in clearer water situations when I don't want, or even heavy fishing pressure situations, where I don't want that skirt to be really bulky. And actually what I do is actually thin this out. I thin out my skirt, and that you could see I've got all my, skirt material there that I've pulled off of this. And what I do is I just try to go around and pull off, you know, a strand every 3rd strand or every 4th strand as I kind of make my way around. You want it kind of evenly distributed throughout. You don't want to just pull them all off one side or one particular section. So I definitely try to make sure that where I'm pulling them off is you know, consistent throughout the whole swim jig. And you can kind of see it's not as full. And what I might do also is try to kind of trim that a little bit. Instead of making it where it's just squared, I'll go ahead and let me show you here. I'll go ahead and let me put this bag out so that I can catch all the little trimmings there. So now that I've got this, I want to make sure that I've got them all on the proper sides of the jig. And what I'll do is I'll stagger it again every so often as I'm spinning the jig, just so that all the silicone isn't the exact same angle. And yeah, maybe I'm doing something that's really needless, but you know, fishing's all about confidence. If you have some things that you do and you feel like mentally gives you just a bit more confidence in the lure that you're throwing, then go ahead and do that. And so what that does is it kind of tapers it down. If you can see, like, instead of it just being straight edge, because nothing in nature is really kind of hard edged. So I like to have that where it's just a little bit irregular. And the other thing that I like about this is when I pull these strands out like this, I can go ahead, the water actually is able to hit more of those strands all the way around the jig. And when you don't have as many of them, and it's like more like they're spread out like this, water goes over them, and I feel like there's more action in the silicone itself. So that's another reason I do it. The other reason I do it is when I'm putting on a swim jig trailer like this Strike King Menace Grub, grab a fresh one out. I use several different trailers, a Rage Craw, the Menace Grub, and then a Swimming Caffeine Shad, which is like a boot style trailer. But when I'm putting on the trailer like this, like a Menace Grub, and obviously you want to go ahead and separate those two legs, but when I'm threaded, I'll thread that on just like that. And what I feel like that does is, because I've moved some of the silicone, the hydrodynamics of it, the water running over the skirt and over the trailer, there's more water that's going to actually hit the tails, and there's going to be a whole lot more action on that Rage. What I have noticed is when I leave the skirt really full, there's not as much action, because the skirt actually robs some of the water flow on the trailer, and actually steals some of the action that you'll get from these trailers and that's basically how I kind of rig it on. Just I thread it on there. I'm not ready to rig this on because it's going to sit for a few days, so I actually don't want this on here in the rod box. You'll actually tend to, with the salt in here, it'll tend to rust the hook and stuff like that. I'll put that trailer on when I'm ready to fish, but basically thread it on like that, and it's ready to go. But that's the thing. Thinning out the skirt does a couple of things. It enables those silicone skirt layers to have more movement, more action, but also enables more water to get to, whether I put a Rage Craw or a Swimming Caffeine Shad or a Menace Grub. The water's able to pass through the skirt material and get to that trailer and create more action. That's just a quick tip on something that I do whenever I'm rigging up a swim jig. I definitely think it's key to just the overall appearance of the bait. I'm pretty particular about things, and if you are too, you may want to try that. I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Until next time, good fishing.